you just foil, and you guys, if you know the Baux method, you could do it that way. Whatever way you do your foiling, you've got 4c times 3c is 12c squared. 4c times d is 4cd. This here is negative 9cd. And I always put the letters in alphabetical order so that I can see that they're the same. Otherwise, I might miss that. And this is minus 3d squared. Anybody have any questions on where I got those numbers? And then these two in the middle can be combined. So you have 12c squared minus 5cd minus 3d squared. So it's C. We have 180 students, and 1/4 of them earn A's, 1/3 earn B's, and the rest earn C's, okay? I guess nobody had a D or an F. So they want to know how many earn C's. Well, we have to find out what the 1/4 was. When you see 1/4 of, the word of means what?
Divide.
Multiply. So 180 times 1/4 is 45. 45 kids got an A. And then 180 times 1/3 is 60. So 105 people got A's and B's, and there's 180. You subtract that from 180, and you do get 75 got C's. So the number of fish F in Skipper's Pond at the beginning of each year can be modeled by the equation f of x equals 3 times 2 to the x, where x represents the number of years after the beginning of the year 2000. For example, x equals 0 in the year 2000, x equals 1 in 2001, and so forth. So according to the model, how many fish were in Skipper's Pond at the beginning of 2006? What is x going to be in 2006? 6. So you do 3 times 2 to the 6th, and you should get 192 fish.
How did you get 6?
Because it tells you that it's 0 for 2000, it's 1 for 2001, 2 for 2002, so it's 6 for 2006, okay? Pictures help you draw a picture of the situation. If you've got 105 kilometers left, that means you've gone 405 in 5 hours, and your average kilometers per hour, 81 kilometers per hour. You're not going very fast. The only thing you need to know here is if 3 parallel lines are drawn like that, then the sides are proportional. So to get from 8 to 16, I multiplied by 2. So to get from 7, I have to multiply by 2, and 6, I have to multiply by 2, and then you add them all together and you get 42. First thing we have to do, we have miles, and we have hours, 2.5 hours. And what we want it to be is in minutes. So 2.5 hours is 150 minutes, I think.
Correct.
And they want to know how many minutes does it take to run 1 mile. So you just put 1 here and x here and cross multiply, and it's 10. We've got 8 red marbles, 9 yellow marbles, and 7 green marbles. So that's going to be 15, 24 marbles. So 24 total. How many individual red marbles must be added to the 24 marbles already in the bag so that the probability of randomly drawing a red marble is 3/5? So right here, now I have an 8 in 24 chance of getting red, which is a 1/3 chance, right? So I did trial and error because it doesn't take that long. If I have for red 8 and 24, and I add 11 to both of them, if I'm adding 11 to the bag, there's going to be now 11 more red, right? So then I have 19 over 35. Well, that doesn't add up to 3/5. Then I tried the 16, 8 plus 16, and 24 plus 16, and that gives us 24 over 40, which is 3/5. So it is 16B.
I don't know what I did or what I was thinking.
No, because it's 24 total.
Yeah, I took the difference of whatever, like A, B, C, and 8, and then added that to the total. So I don't know what I was thinking. But
Yeah, I would have done trial and
that was
error.
really weird.
Because if I were to show you like a formula that with X's in it, two of you will faint. You know what I mean? Like, you just faint. So it's not worth it. Like, this is a logical thing. Just trial and error. It doesn't take that long. Even if you had to get to E, it wouldn't have taken that long. Everybody get that? Mm-hmm. This one, they're giving you an end point and a midpoint. The 6x, the 6/8, they say is an end point, and the midpoint is 2/1. Oh. So the other point has to be on the other side of 2/1. So if you're going to guess, it has to be either F or G, because it has to be in the third quadrant. You see that? Mm-hmm. But I'm going to also give you the formula. I want you to put the formula up there. It's going to be x1 plus y, nope, that's not what it is. X1 plus x2 over 2 and y1 plus y2 over 2. When you're looking for the midpoint, it's the average of the x's and the average of the y's. Okay, when you add two numbers together and divide by 2, that's what you're finding. But these are the end points. So this is what you have to put in your equation. 6 plus x over 2 equals this guy. So 6 plus x equals 4. X equals -2. Got it? Well, we know x equals -2 because those are the two that are still in contention, right? So let's find y. 8 plus y divided by 2 equals 1. 8 plus y equals 2 when you cross multiply. Everybody understand that? Mm-hmm. And y equals -6. So it is G. At his job, the first 40 hours of each week that Thomas works is regular time, and any additional time that he works is overtime. Thomas gets paid $15 per hour during regular time. During overtime, he gets paid time and a half. 1.5, okay, is time and a half. That he gets paid on the regular time. Thomas works 46 hours in 1 week and gets 117 in deductions taken out of his pay for the week. After his deductions are taken out, how much is Thomas's pay? So let's figure out his total pay. He's going to make 40 times $15 an hour for the first 40. For his other 6, he's going to do 15 times 1.5 because that's going to give him his time and a half.
Like 20.
So what are the two numbers? What's 40 times 15? This is all it is? How much?
75.
Oh no, I did 15 times 1.5 is 22.5. I did
Okay, times 6.
Yeah.
Multiply it by 6. Multiply those three numbers together.
735. Like for final.
No, how much is this?
135.
135. So he made 735 this week. Mm-hmm. All right? The 40 hours are at regular time. His 6 hours are at time and a half. Everybody get that?
Yeah.
So if he took 117, you got $618 left for his paycheck. So if there's one letter involved and two sides to an equal sign, go to your y equal and type in the first guy.
Y equals what?
Just go to your y equal screen on your calculator, type in the first guy. Go to your second y equal and type in the guy on the other side of the equal sign. Everybody see what I did? So when you're doing your table, you go to ask, and then you type in your choices, and it's the one where the two y columns are the same, and you're going to get a 63 and 63 when you type in 13 halves. And that means that 13 halves is the answer because it gave you the same y columns. So angle A, they want the sine of A. A is up here, and that is opposite over hypotenuse, and the opposite side from A is 7. Opposite is always the side. If you cross the triangle through the middle, you get to that side. And the hypotenuse is always opposite the 90-degree angle. So it's going to be, so katoa is opposite over hypotenuse, 7/9. So I'm going to start drawing the situation, and you're going to see what happens. And also, if you can remember some of the Pythagorean triples in terms of the perfect triangles, 3, 4, 5 is a famous triangle. And any multiples of 3, 4, 5 also. And then you've got 5, 12, and 13 is another one. There's a couple of them that you should probably pay attention to because those are the ones they're going to put on the test. All right. So let me just, Lotto begins at his back door and walks 8 yards east. If you know your compass, east is to the right, right? So 8 yards east and 6 yards north. So let's just get him working. North is up here. And 12 yards east and 5 yards north. How many yards less would he have walked if he had been able to go in one like that? Okay? So you got 2 right triangles. Pretend I can draw. If this one here is 8 and 6, this is going to be 10. You do a squared plus b squared equals c squared. And 6 squared plus 8 squared equals c squared. 36 plus 64 equals c squared. 100 equals c squared. So you square root him to get that 10 equals c. And when you do the same thing with the 12 and the 5, you get 13 here, okay? So he would have only gone 23, if it's yards, yeah, 23 yards, but he actually went 14, plus 12 is 26, plus 5 is 31, right? So it's 31 minus 23, which is 8. He went 8 extra yards by zigzagging around bushes and, you know, going on the sidewalk and all that kind of stuff. On number 20, you just plug and chug, and you should get that the x equals 90. So just let the math take you there. Don't worry about the letters. Greek letters are just, it's mu and sigma in case you were wondering, okay? So on the other one, the one thing you need to remember here is if O is the center of the circle, all of these sides are equal, okay? That means that at least you know you have an isosceles triangle here. So cross off isosceles because it's which ones are not in the figure. You understand? Acute, this guy here, if these 2 sides on this triangle here are the same, then these 2 angles are the same. So this has to be what kind of triangle? That's 60, 60, 60. Equilateral, very good. So cross him out because we got one of those.
I'm still in the game.
We have a right triangle, so cross him out because there's a right little box here that tells us it's a right triangle. Got it?
Mm-hmm.
And acute, the 60, 60, 60 is acute. So we have one of those. All those angles are less than 90. So the only thing we don't have is a scalene triangle.
Or you won.
You won. E is the answer. Very good. So the slope, when it's in standard form, this is standard form. You got your x, you got your y, you got your equal sign, you got your number. You put this number 1 over this number 5 and change the sign. You have to change the sign. Now let's do it the real way where we leave the y alone. That would have taken you a little bit longer if you don't know that trick. Okay, so you've got 5y equals negative x plus 9. Everybody see what I did? I just moved the x over and turned it negative. Divide everything by 5, and I get y equals negative 1/5 x plus 9/5, and it's still negative 1/5. So there's a little trick if you want to do that. It's the guy with the X over the guy with the Y, and then you change their sign. Ugh. If X has to be bigger than 1, I picked a small number, so I picked 2, right? And that would be 2 over 2 minus 1, which is 2. 2 over 1 is 2, right? Then I picked a big number like 100, and that would be 100 over 99, which is 1.01 something, okay? So 1.9 is the only number between those two. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
So it's the only one that can be a possible value.
Yeah.
If I have 15, 15 is 3 times 5, and 35 is 7 times 5. So I pick the different factors that I see, and I multiply those together. And that'll be the least number that is both divisible by 15 and 35. So it's 105. Whenever you have two equal sides on a triangle, these two angles are equal. And this one was 58, so you take 58 away from 180, and then you divide it by 2, so it would be 122 divided by 2 is 61. Got it?